Bases come in all different sizes and shapes in Herdworld. With the current game limitation to base buildings, most player homes look rather similar. The real magic is happening, however, on the inside. In order to build the best possible base in Herdworld and stick to a certain Herdworld base budget, it is important to clearly state what exactly your requirements for a good base are. The following base features are highly important. The base needs to be as unraidable as possible, or at least really difficult to be raided. The base needs to be easily and safely expandable while starting off easy and safe. Herdworld PvP oriented and last but not least have a place for all basic needs like drill, little garden, etc. Preparing your base for Herdworld PvP is especially challenging, but is one of the most important aspects of a good base design. Losing your base is the worst thing that can happen to you, and our base design will be done to prevent exactly that. First, let me show you the finished best base design on a Herdworld base budget with all its glorious features, and later on I will explain to you how to build it up step by step while maximizing your protection along the way. First impression is this 3x3 concrete base design. The entrance 2x2 on the right side, a balcony on top and on the left. We have on the bottom a little bit of a garden for orangers, one chest sitting directly after the entrance with a tross next to it. That is the place for the oranges, so you can use it already. And why is this design, I will explain a little bit later once we get a little bit in. The first airlock now after the main entrance, the second airlock to be as safe as possible in the base, directly a drill with a workbench and a pit fire. Be very careful about placing this drill when you're building this base. This foundation needs to be high enough to allow the placement of the drill. Inside the totem in the center of the base, surrounded by storage lockers, fit in as much as possible. Important to know, at later stages you should replace the normal lockers with the big ones. A little bit of a balcony, you can use the space as much as you want, and as you can see already from the balcony, you have already a sight into the main entrance area. Especially from the other side, it's even more easier to see. You have the chest in the beginning, people come in, check out the chest. You can close the door from above, which is absolutely brilliant, nearly undetectable. After people ran in to check out the chest, close the door, turn out the fire pit, see how free loot is about to drop down. If you are in a siege or hostiles are outside, a friend of yours can open the front door, or maybe it stayed out because you were killed once entering your base. You can easily defend your base from this positioning, and that's why this is the way it was built. The reason why there isn't like a window or half door is because I want to have the distance between me and the enemies. In case they still kill you, your loot will roll down and they won't have any any chance to possibly access your loot when you're standing in this position. Even if everything is breached till the last room, you can have a construction hammer in this stake area. You can destroy the rooftop, and jumping on top of the storage locker, you will be able to get out of even this situation, go around to the balcony and close the door from the front. So even in this point, you can take back your base and defend it. On top, the ramps are something which people don't use so much yet. They will give you the allowance to completely shoot down, and I know that most of the people like to have those little windows with a half wooden, while removing this half wooden panel. But the disadvantage by it is that usually it makes you be very static. The windows are seen. Enemies outside can pre-aim those windows and shoot at you in the moment you appear there. Those ramps allow you round around to move as you want, to appear and disappear as you wish to do. And of course, the roof above it is a protection against any jump attempts on top of your base. First thing you do, you select the quarter you want to build in, build one foundation in the rather in the middle one. This will be your stake room. Build like two more next to it, as you can see here on the video. Place a stake in the middle of the room because you want to place a storage container around it. So now you have your first basic room. Finish it up around, takes the first one on wood because they have to be removed later on, so you will get a little bit of wood back. Place the door, another door with another doorway and the roof, so you have your first airlock now already prepared and ready, so you can safely respawn. This is what you need to provide in the very beginning of your base if you want to be efficient and safe. Collect till you have enough materials for this little home. After that, produce concrete around your base, so you have a 3-on-3 size foundation on the left side. As you can see, you always expand by one left, one to the front, and now place the walls around it. Finish it off. Of course, you do this in real life usually a little bit slower and collect your resources, but make sure always that you, when you breach the next area, that you have enough to block it off. The roof is always very important. Technically, if you have a lot, you can sometimes leave certain spaces already open. I build it like the long way, as if you would farm constantly to get more and more place. The truss in the very early stages already, because with this door here you can already very soon build up a defense from the other side. And here is a little trick part: if you didn't build up the foundation, the concrete foundation, high enough, you won't be able to place the drill there. So be always focused on, when placing this, that you have it high enough so a drill is working out. I like to place the storage container in the entrance area very early on, because I want people to run in, especially when I have those truss down from the other side, because at this point already I can shoot people who are trying to ambush, raid, or just annoy me and get out of it as a winner. After that, the iron is what you want to have. As you can see here again, I'm shooting everything which is outside. Place the iron on the ground, remove the roof, and now of course immediately secure the outer layer, immediately the second floor, with walls around the base so nobody can jump in, and of course with the roof directly as a follow, so you are as safe as possible. Again, you could most likely, if you have everything instantly, you can most likely build it a little bit cheaper, because you don't have to destroy certain roofs and certain buildings anymore. But for this purpose, which I think is more likely, is that you will farm it on the road, so destroying certain things is just the better way to go. There we go. There we replace now the little side wall to have like a little balcony above the chest, and to be able to open and close the front door. This is how it works. And now I made the mistake that I placed already here at this point this roof already, so we will have to remove the roof again in order to place those to finish off the balcony. This is exactly what I'm doing right now. So 3/2 3/3 or whatever it's called on top of each other, and then you remove the middle one. After that you can place the roof again, and it looks a little bit better than before. So the roof is now ready everywhere and on both sides of the balcony, and now we will slowly move towards the last floor. The base will need at least 2 C4 to get breached, and that's, I think, kind of a good value. In future you can always expand it a little bit. Place on the balconies, you can use them as you see fit. I like a fire pit on the one side, so you can actually jump down if you want to jump down into the entrance area. On the other side I'm placing another blast furnace and a storage locker. Make sure that the blast furnace is not clipping through the wall, otherwise it can be accessed from outside, which is a little bit annoying. Another steep foundation to the top of the roof plays immediately one wall and one doorway. You need the wall in order to place the wooden rooftop. After that you can remove it again, and then what I like to do is to place doors, ways and doors all around it. But of course you can go with a cheaper version, have only one door on top. That's perfectly fine. Now again, 2 times half or a third wooden panel, short panels, completely around the base. This is exactly the size you need to have for the steep metal ramp, and the metal ramps are really good and important for base defense. Place one aligned with an exit, and then somehow that it looks schematic and OCD is satisfied. And from this point you are really good protected already on the rooftop. It will make it hard to get to engage you from this position, and this is exactly what people like to do. They like to have these little windows. Technically you could do it to protect yourself like that with a little window there, so you can't, maybe will be a little bit more difficult to be shot. Personally, I think that the disadvantage of this is that you can't jump out through it anymore. You can't leave your base, so you have technically only one possibility to leave your base. You can leave your base this way with only 2 little wooden borders, little walls, by removing them and just crouching into freedom. But the disadvantage, of course, is that you get a lot of falling damage because you are already in a crouching position when you go out. That's why I prefer to have a normal wall size around the base. Use them to place the roof on top of it, so nobody can too easily jump into your base. Of course it is possible, but the safety layer, the 2C4 layer, is already maintained with those doors there, so the roof is against wetness and of course against being harassed from above in any way possible. Make it a little bit more difficult. So we're closing this one off too. I like it because in this case you are a little protected in your back. When you're shooting in one direction, you can't be that easily shot in your back from another side of the map. That's why I like to have it like that, and it works very well, very good. Of course you could leave those walls standing, a few of them, to maybe have a backup, but you don't really need it, as you have those ramps to go down the ramps in case you are getting engaged. You are highly mobile. Staying in being capable of moving around is better, and always remember that if you die with the ramps, your loot will roll in a position where you can very easily pick it up again, especially if you have 4 doors to all sides, and your enemies will just get more and more infamous, and that's of course something you totally want to do. There is currently no better design in Herdworld for a base. This is the best base design in Herdworld, especially on a Herdworld budget. So leave a comment if you disagree or agree or have further improvements for this little base.